All right, hello, how are you? My name is Anthony Gray. Welcome to another episode of Grayscale, even though it's pre-recorded. Okay, have you ever wondered, this is mainly for the beginners, how you would get that woodland glow in your paintings? How the interior of the painting seems to just bust out with glowing color, yet everything surrounding it is a little dark, yet necessarily not black, but darker than the glow in the inside, the bright color in the inside. The glow can be any color you really want, actually, as long as your surrounding color and preceding colors after that are darker. Okay, the glow would stand out much more. You might not see the simple pencil sketch I have here, okay, but it's very basic, very simple pencil sketch I have. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'll do something I don't normally do, but this is an instructional thing, so why not? Obviously we have, no, you don't see that either, but I'll throw in a little sketch. You'll be able to see this. It's the little mountain here, little piece of a mountain, right? Then right here, it's like surrounding foliage. It's gonna come overlap the mountain a little bit, whatever, but something like that. You got foliage here on the bottom too. Just sketching it out. Leaves or whatnot, whatever you're gonna have. This is gonna be directly in the foreground. Whatever's in between here, okay, will be slightly out of focus, especially the mountain and the sky. Everything will be the glow in here. After you do the initial glow, then you work on leaves or trees, whatever you want to work on in here in the middle before you come out here. So the foliage upper and lower foliage kind of helps bring it all in. All right. And the center focal point will be the mountain or whatnot. Okay. All right. If you look down below here, I got only a simple palette of colors. Burnt umber, phthalo blue, yellow ochre, and titanium white. All right, and that's what we got just for right now. Okay, no medium, no glycerin, just regular plain, unfortunately dirty, but water. Okay, which is why I got the simple round coffee can palette here. All right, okay, so let's get to getting. Let's take a 2-inch flat brush. Got it right here on the bottom here. You can check it out. All right. I'll just dip it. Let me get my little towel ready. Dip it in some water here. All right. Hopefully you got cleaner water than what I have. I just forgot to dump it and put some fresh water in there. All right. Go up to the board here. What I'm going to do is I will go from the top to the bottom. All right. Yes, this is water. The paint or the marker that I use is water based. That's why you see the smears. But you know what? Do you think I'm worried about the smears? I am not. That paint will cover it up. But I'm just soaking that area in water. I'm using 11 by 15 inch watercolor paper also. So that kind of helps, you know. Let's get a little bit of titanium white. The titanium white is just to help accentuate the glow once I put the ochre on. All right, so it's just a little bit of titanium white here and there, just here on I'm not going into the foliage area, won't be needed, just around the center mass area. That's it. All right, without cleaning the brush, I'm going into some yellow ochre. This would be primarily our glowy thing. All right, even though this is a darker yellow, it's okay. Trust me. As you see, the white is mixing in with this yellow. I'm just doing little crisscross strokes, whatever. Now, since I'm using water, I'm not using medium, you'll see streakiness in the acrylic paint. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Little extra. As it dries, the water will help this acrylic expand. And believe it or not, it will blend itself out. Okay. So basically, this is it right here. All right. Let's bring some of that down there too. Just crossing it left and right. Doesn't necessarily have to be totally even. All right, as you'll see, it really won't matter. But I got a nice little glowy situation happening right here, right in the center. Right up in there. Okay. Now, it may appear to be brownish looking, which it is, but once the darker paint gets introduced into this, it will look more and more yellow. The eyes tend to play little tricks like that. Let's work with that mountain. I'll take a flat brush. All right. Now, with the mountain, if you look down here, I'm taking some of this yellow ochre right here. Okay, I'll take a good chunk of it here. Yellow ochre. I'm going into this burnt umber. Need only the smallest bit just to darken it, just a slight bit. All right. The more you can slightly darken this the ochre, the more of a misty look the mountain will appear to look like. Okay. Now this might not look like much, but let's go up on the board and see what happens. Even though you put a tiny little bit up there, watch. All right, I'll bring you up here. You see the color shift? Okay. I'll still make my mountain a little craggy looking. And make sure I at least go over the pencil marks a little bit. It's all right. Just like that, and don't have it disappear. Then we'll fade all of this out in its general direction there. Don't worry about the center. This is going to be faded out, and you'll see how I do that. Like I said, I'm just using water right now, just water. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of water, just a little bit. And going down below here, I'm gonna gently fade that mountain right out. I'm just adding more water to the paint that I have on my brush, and we'll lightly back and forth just fade it right out and get some more water. So all I'm doing is adding water to this and just fade it right out. You're getting more water than brush or than paint. Okay, that's all. And just scumble, and it'll generally just fade away. That's all. I'm not really worried about it being too perfect over here, because there'll be trees and foliage and whatnot going on over in there. But already you can see it's just fading away. All right, it's just faded away. That's it, just like that. All right, fade it right out. I could have gotten it even lighter than that, but it won't be necessary. Let's go with a little bit of yellow ochre once more. All right. It may be a slight touch of white inside the yellow ochre. Lighten it up a little bit. Just a little bit. And we'll work on a little bit of texture on that mountain. Won't be nothing super detailed. It really doesn't have to be. Okay. It depends on how you want to texture your mountain. I'm gonna have to brighten it up a little bit more. So I'm just getting a little more titanium white, putting it into the ochre. I'm just getting it bright enough to where it can be seen at least a little bit. All right, come on back up, and there we go. Just a little brightness here and there. I'm just using the corner of the brush. Like I say, you don't want it extremely detailed, just a little bit of texture here and there. Little taps and whatnot. Put it in there, here and there. Just like this. Okay. Now it might look a little more extravagant because of the glare, because of the white paint, or the wet paint rather. But something like that. Okay. I'll take the slightest bit of the umber. Slightest bit. I'm mixing it in with the white. I'm mixing it in with the yellow ochre. Just want it a little darker, just to portray the shadow side a little. All right. And you just kind of go the other way with it. Where you see it's a little darker at. Not necessarily all over the place, little crevices here and there. Just like this. Just a little something to give it a little bit of depth. Alright. You're doing it all with a brush. I'm doing it using the side of the brush, going in the opposite direction. Alright. That's all. Come around in here. I'll flip the brush around a little bit. I don't technically need too much of this happening. Just like that. Just a little something back there. That's all. And I really don't need much more than what you see there. And I'll just clean off the brush. All right. Now that we've got that taken care of, let's work with putting some tree limbs in here and there. We're going to still go with a little bit of the burnt umber and some of this cad yellow. This is yellow ochre. And I'll put some trunks in here. All right. And here we go. You can start them anywhere you would like. All right, make them thin or thin as you would like, something like that. My paper's warping a little bit, but that's all right. We'll make adjustments. Don't worry about going into your surrounding foliage. It's fine. Just like something like that. And we're gonna have a limb coming out there like so. Maybe another one coming out that way. Got one coming upward here like that. Don't worry about it. Have one come to the side a little thicker if you would like. Just like that. That's the start of our little pre-forest that's in here. Okay. You can have another one come shooting on in there. A little crooked. That's all right. Just like this. Make them a little thicker. This is a very simple little craft project you can do. And I'm not using anything different. Just adding water instead of the medium that you usually see me use. And maybe a branch up in here like that. I'll get a tiny bit of water just to loosen up the paint just a bit. Not enough to make a glaze, just to loosen up the paint. Just a slight tad, slight touch. And we'll have a branch come out this way, come out in front of the other guy like that. And we can thicken that branch a little bit like that. Just like so. Okay. We'll put a nice size one in here too. Why not? We'll put one right here. Well, we're gonna need plenty of paint, so let's get some ochre. Let's get some of the brown here. Darken it up, just like that. Now, we don't have anything to really match this with, so you might think this is blatantly dark, but it's not, trust me. He's a thick one going straight up. I'm gonna come back down. If you want to make it a little heavier down toward the base, you can. Like so. Have him go straight up, right off into the tape. Okay. Give him a nice, strong limb going out that way. Okay. And we'll thicken out that limb there, like that. All right. Let's put one nice limb coming this way. Make him thicker than the others. Have him travel. Maybe he cuts across. He's a heavier limb, and you gotta paint it as such. There you go, like that. Broaden him out that way a little bit. All right. Let's thicken him up a little bit, especially where he gets to that limb there. All right. Make sure you give the tree base enough body to accommodate the size of that limb. All right. Okay. Really don't need anything shooting out from this guy, not necessarily, but this is fine. We're gonna do one more branch, one more limb. All right. And we'll have him shooting this way. Come on in the inside there. Come on in the inside. I'm going right through the branches. It doesn't really matter at this point in time. Okay. Now my paper I didn't pre-wet. This is watercolor paper. And if I pre-wet it and let it dry, it wouldn't warp. And that's what this is, just doing a little warping, that's all. But that's okay. Like I said, this is a practice paper. And we'll have one shoot out this way, kind of angle that way. We'll have one come out that way. A lot of this won't matter because it's going to be covered with all sorts of shrubs and whatnot. All right, so don't worry about all of that. All right, now that we've completed some of that, okay, with the same color, I'm just going to use a little, well, I'm going to use a fan brush next, actually. I should have did this before I put the trees in, but it's okay. Basically, they're all along the same lines. I'm just going to get a small fan brush here. All right, a small fan brush right there. We're going to go with some titanium white. I'm going to put it right in with the that darker color. Just lighten it up a little bit. Get a little bit of ochre in there. Just want to lighten it up just a smidgen. Okay. Try to get enough of it on my brush here. This should basically be enough, but we'll find out. And we're going to just add maybe some faraway trees in there. Let's add a little water to this, loosen it up a little bit. Okay, let's try it again. That may or may not work. Let's see. It may do. Just put some faraway trees in there. I'm just tapping them in there. It's all right. Just something in there, like so. I might even have them be a little darker, just for it to show a little bit better. Getting a little bit of water, just a corner of water on the brush. Maybe we can darken them a little bit. Different sizes, don't matter. Basically, I'm just making dark. Almost lost my brush. Almost, not quite, almost. Some of it may appear, some of it may not. Okay, now that bottom end, real easy to fade out. Just tap that bottom. Fade it. Just the bottom. Same direction, just fade it right out. Let's turn the brush around. Just fading it out. Not using medium, just regular water. Okay, that's all. Just like that. fade it right out. So you got the little hill here, you got all of this happening. All right, so now that we got a little bit of that going on, you want to add some leaves and whatnot in here. Okay, and we're going to do that. As I'm looking at it here, I guess I can play around with a little bit of bark with some of these guys. So I'm getting a little bit of white, mixing it in with a little bit of that dark, gray it out a little bit. And we'll come up here and we'll just couple of tabs of bark or whatnot there. I can lighten some of this up also. So maybe we'll do the whole tree and just give it a dark side there. All right. Maybe even on this guy, just darken him up a little bit. Not necessarily these guys. These guys kind of in the back there. They don't matter. I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit, little titanium white now. Slight touch of the yellow ochre. And we'll just tap in a few light spots on these guys. I'm just tapping, I'm not gonna drag it, I'll just tap a little bit. Just some light areas here and there. It helps me kind of bring out some of these guys in the foreground a little bit more. Like that. And remember, if it's too glaring, it's the light. That's the wetness of the paint that's causing a lot of that. So don't worry about all of that either. Okay, enough of that. I know you don't think it's gonna glow much because of the brown, but it will. Trust me, it most certainly will. Yeah, I guess I'll do it. We'll do it with this angled brush. This is about a 1.5 inch angled brush here. I'm gonna dip into my ochre, dip a little bit of my umber in there. We're darkening up those soon-to-be leaves here. All right. I'm only using the front half of the brush. I'll show you down below here. Front half of the brush there. All right. And you're gonna tap some interesting shapes in there. See, just tap them just like that and keep it going. Now you can put your leaves in any type of general way or area you would like. Okay, as you can see what I'm doing. I'm getting some more. I'm going back into the ochre, going back into the brown there, the sienna, just like that, various directions. Okay, we're gonna bring some right down in here, a little bit in front of the mountain. Okay, just like so. We're gonna put some down in here, just like so. Darken some of that in there, just like that. All right, we're not done yet. We're gonna get some ochre, some more yellow. I'm pretty much keeping it all the same basic kind of scheme color-wise. We'll put some bushes up in here, just like that. And we'll add a couple in here. Come on down here. Just playing around. All right. We'll put some bushes up in here too. Just kind of add a little interest. Give it a little push. Some come downward, some come upward, like so. Bring it on around. I don't have to necessarily bring this in front of the trees because these big bushes here are going to be in the front. All right, so we don't need all of that drama. Just like that, just a few. Just like that. Okay, let's take a little bit of white, lighten it, some of that brown a little bit. I can get away with the white. And we'll tap a few of them in here, just light taps. Okay. Just not necessarily all over the place, just give it some interest here and there. Even though I added white in it, as you can see, it's just a lighter shade of what I got already. Just a few of them in there. Okay. Don't necessarily have to go overboard with it. Bring some down there. Just like that. And if I want, maybe a couple touches on these guys. Just a few here and there. In the front of that tree in there. I don't really need too much of this color in here. Okay. Because it'll all kind of show by the time I get all of this surrounded. All right. All right. Now that I've done what I've done, I'll let it dry for a second. I'll chat with you a little bit. Okay. I got the essential center fairly done up here. All right, not too much detail as far as the trees themselves. Really doesn't need it. A lot of the details and shrubs and interesting stuff is going to happen in the foreground here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to obscure this even more. Even though we got the yellow ochre and the umber going on here. Okay, I'm going to obscure this a little more using a flat brush and some white. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a glaze, a nice white glaze to all of this, so it looks like a really hazy, misty type of glow that's going to happen within here. All right, into the tray. I know my water's a different color. It really won't matter once I put the color in there. But just like that. Okay, it's just rinsing it, putting it right into the right into the little tray here. I'm just going into my titanium white and I'm mixing it into the water itself. All right, and what this is going to do is going to cause it to have a weird kind of a glazy effect. It's your bravery test, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go right across, boom, just like that. Just get it, go right across. It's gonna put a nice little white film going across the painting here. Now, if I feel that it's not enough of it, I will add more white paint to the water, because I feel it's not enough. But that's just me, and I'm doing it again. I'm just going back over it again with the white. It's just got more paint in it. All right, that's all. And if it streaks, I'm gonna leave the streaks. It'll just give it that nice white kind of filmy type of thing happening with it. All right, and that's about it, really. Something like that. You might not be able to tell because of the glare, but there's a nice film of white going across that. All right, some of it's kind of bunching up, some of it's not, but when it dries, it's going to dry with that haziness to it. All right, and that's all I really wanted. It's just nothing with water, no medium, no little other tricks than just the medium itself. Okay, so the center of that's pretty wet, the surrounding is fairly dry. All right, okay, now here comes the fun part, sweetheart. I'm gonna get a little more of my this is actually raw umber, so I'm pouring some raw umber, more raw umber in on my lower canvas here. I got some phthalo blue there, so I'm gonna make another batch of dark, essentially. That's all I'm doing. All right, but what I'm gonna do, I think I'll still use this guy. Why not? I'm gonna poke right into this umber. All right, look down here. I'm going right into the umber, going into my phthalo blue and the raw umber, very dark. Okay, mainly on the head of the pointed edge of the slanted brush. All right, we're gonna put the leaves in. All right, and here we go. Put the leaves in. Don't be shy. Put them in there. Group them a little bit. All right. The sides are going to be a little bit just like that. The top part is going to be relatively pitch dark. All right, and I want that on purpose. Going right back into my dark color. I want the color dark, and you're gonna put them in there. All right, almost like reckless abandon. You already know it's dark up here. One is it's mainly white. You want to get rid of the white. But as far as making it look leaf-like as you can, that's just turning your brush in different directions. I'm just getting more paint. All right, because you still want it to be fairly deep, fairly dark. Okay. Side of the brush if you want, or whatever. Come on in like this. Don't be afraid to obscure and hide things if you must. If there's something that you don't like, you can always hide it. All right. I'll have one pop out this way a little bit. Keep some of that glow in between some of this stuff. Okay, I'm just getting some more paint. You can use a sponge if you would like. Okay, up to you. I'm going down below here. Now, as I'm doing, I'm getting more paint, actually. That's what I'm doing. More dark. As I'm doing this, you know, you can turn your brush in different directions. Because right now you're thinking of the tops of the foliage here. Okay, you can have some come up a little bit, like that. Go in different directions. Okay. Just like that. Come right on in with it. Just like so. Alright. I'm going to put a little bit more on my brush here. I'm still going into my umber and into my phthalo blue, getting plenty of it. And we're just going to have some fun down there. All down in here. Make it as dark as possible. Okay. Trying to stay out of the way. I know I got a lot of white in here, so it's going to essentially be quite solid. Especially down in here. Now, it may look black. It's not black. It's actually a very odd greenish. Umber has green in it. The sienna colors have red. If you didn't know that, you know it now. Okay, which is why with the phthalo blue in this brown, it looks like a very deep dark green. Okay, if I added white to it, you would definitely see what I'm talking about. Down here, it can be dark as you can get it. It doesn't matter. Okay, down here, fairly dark. Because I'm using white paper, I didn't pre-color all in here, so it's gonna be fairly dark there. I'm getting some more of the umber here. Actually, I'm getting a lot more of the umber. Okay, and we're going to, now this one's got a little more brown in it because I ran out of the blue, but that's also fine. It's okay. Add a little variance in it, that's fine. It's nothing but dark. It's the fundamental background base color. So it's all right. It's quite okay. Darken all of that in there. Okay, just like that. Darken it. About as dark as you can get it. It's all right. Pretty solid in there. It's okay. Now, as you can see, all right, with all that dark, you see all this kind of stick out a little bit. All right, and I got some of that haziness working in there. Okay, guess I'll use this number 1-inch Ross brush. A little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of white. Let's take the white, titanium white. We're gonna go into a little bit of this weirdish greeny brown that I got going on here. I'm just tapping it in there fairly strong. Okay, so whatever hue of this color I get is still going to be in a greenish type of direction of color. All right, let's move in a little bit. I know I did most of this with the camera kind of far away. We can do it down here first. Let's corner all of that in. All right, we're gonna add some little highlights to these guys. I've only used, as you can see, the front part of the brush there. And you just add a nice little tap in it like that. Just a little bit here and there, just like that. I'm just dipping more into it. And I'm going a little circular pattern like that. Don't lose all of your darks. So we're just playing with all of that right in there. Okay, I'm dipping into my titanium white. I can go back into my greenish brown mix here. And I'm just tapping in enough just to, there we go. On one side, give it a little push if you want. All depends on how you want your foliage to look. I'm dipping it still into this greenish brown mix here, which just give me a lighter hue of what's going on there. Okay, and just little bits here and there. Come in the other direction if you've got to. Just a couple taps. All right. Over on the side, very wild looking. They're not looking like the tamest of bushes, and you might not want that really tame look. Okay, and like I said, this is white mixed in with the dark color that you see before you, which is that weird bluish green, even though I use brown. Okay, and only a few little taps here and there. I'm gonna come back down here on the bottom where you guys can see it. Okay, and as this gets darker, it recedes into the color even more, creates more of a shadow. All right, and I'm using titanium white and this color on purpose. You'll see in a second. You'll see. Let's go over here on the side. All right, I know we got kind of a strong shadow going on with this color, and the glare is probably hitting you pretty strong. All right, we'll move this camera up a little bit. And I'm actually going just beyond the dark, the edge here. Just a little bit here and there. Just like so. Coming around the side. All right. Some of you might try this and it might not look right to you, but you got to keep going through with your painting. Okay, remember this stuff kind of fades and whatnot, and you know it does what it does. This and this. It's not as blatant as you think. It's just the light hitting it over here. Okay, that is not even part of anything. That's just wet paint from the mountain. Didn't even touch it. This stuff in here, don't worry about that. Please don't fret yourself over anything like that. I'm going back into my phthalo blue. Let's get a little more phthalo blue. Okay, a little phthalo blue. We're going back into our umber, this raw umber, okay, which has green in it, by the way. Okay, I really don't need too much of that. All right. Let's put this back. Let's put the flat guy back right here. We're gonna take I guess I'll take one of these. This is a number, also 3/4 inch flat, this guy. All right. I'm gonna draw back a little bit. All right. Okay, let's set some of this stuff back. Watch this. We're taking a little bit of the umber, taking a little bit of that phthalo blue. I'm gonna mix it in together. A little more umber, put it in there. This is just umber and phthalo blue. The slightest touch of water to kind of loosen up the paint a little. All right, 3/4 inch flat brush. Watch this. right? Because you got a bunch of woods here, but you have no trees. We'll have one coming through like this. Come on out like that. Have one come right on out, just like this. We can thicken it a little bit. And we're going to take one branch and we're going to go out like that. Just like that. Have it disappear. Have one go this way. Just like that. We'll have one kind of jut out this way and upward. Just like that. Just like so. Have one come out this way. All right. You see how you can bring the other stuff back now? You see what you got going on? Okay. We'll put one, we'll put one here with center it. We'll put one here cutting right across that mountain a little bit, just like that. Boom. We'll thicken them out a little bit. Thicken them out a little more like that. Just like that. All right. Almost like they're butting into each other there, and it's fine. And we'll have him come out and coming down. We'll have him branch come downward, just like that, just like so. Okay. And we'll have one guy come this way, and then he'll come upward like that. We got one coming across that fella like that. And we'll have a nice thick branch come this way like that. All right. As I'm doing this, we're not really damaging anything. Just like so. Just like that. Now you got a couple of those going through, but you already got your foliage all up around in here. All right, we'll thicken that one out a little bit. There we go. Just like that. And it's like it's just coming right out of the bush there. All right, okay. See how easily you can do that? Same flat brush, get a little bit of titanium, wipe that ochre. I'm using the side of the brush. A little bit more white. Okay, and we can play with some, tap in some outlines in there like this for this guy, just like that. And we'll put a couple of them in here like this. Come on around, have him come down a little bit, just a couple of taps there. And we'll keep coming down with it, just playing around. More taps than sliding around with it. Okay, just give him some interesting bark patterns going around in there, up in there. Come around here and do the same thing. You know, some of them up in here. Maybe you got one coming in front of the other branch. We're coming here on the other one. Just like that. Come on down with it. It's all right. Interesting little patterns here and there. Okay. Like so. Some like texture in there like that. All right. Get a little more of this color. Put it on the edge of the brush, and we'll trail in a couple of them. See how you can kind of mark out your other branches here. You don't have to be as thick as me, like that. Just wipe some of that away if it's too thick, and you narrow it down a little bit. Up to you which ones you want in the front and which ones you want in the back. Entirely up to you. All right. Just have a little fun with it. If it's too blatant, I can always wipe it away. But now you got texture and stuff. Let's put some down in here, like the light's catching it down below in there. Okay. Like so. Maybe a little bit down in here. All right. All right. Much like that. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right. And with this, all you need basically is a slight touch. All right. And we're going to play around with the bushes up in here. And just a touch, just like that. is touching just the bare highlights of the bushes. All right, just like that. Maybe a couple on the outside here, like that. See how it kind of sticks out there? Okay, you can outline a couple of the underlying bushes with it if you would like. Up to you how you want to do it. This is your world. Okay, and we can pop some of them in here like that, and we got some around in here. Give it a couple of pushes in there like that if you want to give it a little touch push in there. Some of the sunlight's catching on some, missing on others. Okay, come over the side, do them on the side. Okay, just like so. I still got some on here, a good chunk of it. I might not really want to put them directly down on the bottom. Maybe on the bottom I'm having them subdued a little bit. I'm getting some more of the ochre and a couple of touches here and there, just like that. Come across that bush a little bit. Come up here a little, up around here, just out of the periphery of the light that's hitting it. So some of them come out here. You can even peek a couple in here if you would like, if I got enough. Barely. But mainly down on the bottom, like so. All right, I'm checking it out. I only put a few of them up top up there, not too much. But as you see, quite mysterious. All right, I could have done with a little more white, but that's all right. Still kind of bleached and faded back there. Let's pull the camera back. You'll see the whole thing here. Okay. But that's basically the main gist of the painting. Actually, my ochre into that blue. All right, which gives me a deep green, and we can play around with some of that in here. And I'm just messing around with a little bit of green foliage here and there. It just gives me some more options, and yeah, nice little push there. I like that. Might want to turn that around and do it that way. So if you got some of the yellow a little too strong, you feel, then you can kind of tap in some. Got some here on the side. I could play with a little bit, tone down some of that ochre. I'm gonna dip in more into my blue, go back into the ochre a little bit. I'm gonna add a little touch of white to it. Okay, and I'll play around with a few of them up in here. Just a couple of dots, taps here and there. Just little touches of green, just a little bit. Like I say, I can tone down a little bit of that ochre if it's too much of it. I'll put some in here too. Yeah, like that. Okay. As it dries, it will tone down a tad. So don't worry about that. I'm just tapping in a few bits of color here and there, here and there. Now, because I got the overhead light on, I don't have the side lights on. What you do see that's kind of sticking out there is just wet paint. As it dries, it kind of subdues. So don't worry about all of that good stuff. I'm just adding just a little bit of green here and there. That's all. Tone some of that yellow down a little bit if I feel it's too strong. Just like that. I could tone it down with a little bit of green. It brings it in, reels it in a little bit. All right. Put some of this red in here. The red is still kind of dark, but it's all right. If I wanted it a little bit brighter, I'd just add more white to it. Looks like I might need to do that, because I do have, the red is in here, but it's just not bright enough. So I will dip the white paint directly into the red. Now that will brighten it up a little bit. And give it a couple of good stirs like this. Get a little bit of water, put it in there, brighten it up a little bit, just like that. Now that pinkish should show up quite lovely in there. It shows up a little bit better. Just a little bit here and there. Just adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of color to this thing. Usually down here on the bottom, really, if anything. Put a little patch here and there. There we go. All right. Clean off the toothbrush real quick. Alrighty. I'm checking it out. I'm looking at it here. If I feel I need anything, I don't believe I do. What is in here is in here. I don't think I need anything else. Okay, let's see if I got anything bright enough I can sign my name with here. I think I might. I think I'll just use the red here. If it shows, that's cool. If it don't show, that's cool too. But I'll put it right here in the corner. Thank you guys for watching this. It's a little different. It is. If you'd like to donate to the cause, the PayPal button should be in the description link, or it's on the lower right hand side of the banner if you would like to donate. More supplies, more paints, and all that good stuff. There we go. Good enough. It'll be pretty much secured or kind of hidden in there once it dries. Okay, here's the real test. Let's take the tape off, right? So let's see what we got here. Get my head out of the way. Peeling up and out so I don't destroy the painting. Like I say, I use a lot of watercolor paper because I do a lot of tutorials, and it's just cost effective for me to keep doing it that way than to keep buying canvas. All right, let's pull this camera back just a wee bit. You see what it looks like totally. All right, there you go. That's her. Okay. Not too terribly long of video to do this, and I think it came out fairly well. This would probably do good with a black frame. It kind of centers everything in. Then the stark white. So if I did the whole picture and didn't have the border, it would be more effective. All right, when I take a picture of it online, you won't see the white border. I'll take a picture of it. I'll just crop it right around its edges and all that good stuff. But all right, guys, thank you so very much for checking this out and seeing how easy it's done to have a nice little glow. You can use even brighter colors. As long as your colors on the outside are darker than what's going on in here, it appears to just kind of pop out and glow. And to sell it even more, if you had cute little sun rays spouting here and there, it would sell the illusion of it being very bright in there. Even though I use the darker yellow and brown, it still sticks out as a glow surrounded by all of the dark. And remember, what appears to be black is not black. I didn't use any black in this in this painting. It's just raw umber and phthalo blue. All right, and the raw umber and phthalo blue mixed with the yellow ochre makes the green that you've seen. All right, and what other green that I used was just phthalo blue and yellow ochre. All right, and whatever's light green would be just touched up with a little bit of white. And really, that's it. All right, you guys have a very nice day, evening, noon, or night, whenever you're watching this. I'll see you when I see you, and peace.